All right, back for another show. Let's see how this gonna go. Hope we could get some people in here. Yeah, hope we get some people in here. Been doing the show solo for what 2 or 3 weeks now. That's weird trying to keep the show going on for more than an hour. I guess it's good because I just do an hour. I know some of y'all wanted to go longer, but we'll see. We'll see how it work out today. Let me check and see what's going on with YouTube. Still loading. Come on, YouTube. All right, we good. Let me see. I posted a question. It didn't even pop up. Give me a second, y'all. I mean, I didn't post a question. I posted a link to my blog because some people be wanting to go and see my vlogs. Like I said, man, y'all got to start posting questions so I could the next day. I need y'all to post some questions or developers that be watching the show. Y'all can post questions too because a lot of y'all be saying I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know in the industry that's what y'all gonna say. That's exactly what you're gonna say to hoping that y'all could make me be quiet. Yeah, y'all thing is, hey, Poe just sent. Poe don't. It's not really true what he's saying. Poe, he's trying to tell y'all stuff that is not possible. It is possible. Y'all just gotta frame it the way y'all want to. When I be posting stuff, I do my research, and it is possible. Well, I want to let me pin stuff in my own thing. That's weird. All right. I don't know what's going on here. All right. Let me see. Let me start. Close this. And let me start my reading. Let me start this show off. A lot of this stuff, a lot of stuff that I'm going to go over, it might sound repetitive a little bit, but it's really not. My thing is, I want to break it down so everybody gets recognized, no matter what fan base you are, so everybody can get recognized. Like if you're a realistic sim person, if you're give me a second. Just the different fan bases. And this is one fan base that people keep ignoring. The creation fan base, the create character fan bases, the slider fan bases. Those people are very important in the community. They're extremely important, especially for the longevity of your game. My thing is, if boxing stopped tomorrow, we want to be able to play the game and still enjoy it. That's why these creation modes, that's why I push hard with these creation modes. That's why I push hard for, sliders, so we can create the game we want. And my thing is, yes, it's great to have real boxers, but it's better to have boxing mechanics, the real boxing mechanics. You want to have the mechanics be like, yo, you know what this style seem like without it even being a person. You be like, that look like Floyd style. That look like Zab Judah style. He fights just like Zab Judah. You want to be able to say that with mechanics. Not that it look a little bit like it. Like a lot of people, they keep saying, Manuel Augustus fight like Emmanuel Augustus. Not really. He do some of the things Emmanuel Augustus does, just enough to get y'all attention. Just enough to get y'all attention. My thing, they have to do a better job with these DLCs. And I'm not letting up. I know a lot of people like, Dad, Poe keeps, he won't let it go. No, I'm not letting it go. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not letting it go. No, I'm not letting it go. My thing is, if you worried about me not letting it go, that means you shouldn't be listening to the show. You should ignore me. If a person like me annoys you for doing what I'm doing, ignore the show. You ain't gotta listen to what I say. My thing is, it might catch some people ears, and I'm not even talking about Steel City, and that's the thing that y'all are lost. That's where y'all lost at. My thing is for all the developers that listen to my show, or that may listen to my show, and say, hey, this guy's real passionate. Let me listen to what he's got to say. Let me listen to what they got to say, because I keep telling y'all, this is not my show. It's our show. You can come on here any day you want to, anytime. I will accommodate you. If it's out of your time, if it's out of your you think it's out of your time zone or whatever, I could accommodate you. I could do a later show, early show, whatever you want. Weekend show, whatever you want. Just let me know. But I will accommodate you. This is our show. This is not my show. That's what I be trying to get y'all to do. Hey, treat this like it's our show. This is not Poe's show. I'm just the janitor, taking care of the building. That's all I'm doing. All right. Let me start off. Let me see anybody popped up in here. Salute Lamont Davis. Appreciate you coming through, man. Man, you be everywhere, Lamont. You support everybody. Lamont be everywhere. That's one thing you can't say about him. He don't support everybody. You support everybody, and I salute, man. That's a massive salute to you, man. All right. This episode is not about arguing over which fan base is right. It is about understanding that boxing games are not one group. I'm gonna try to break it down more this, because I know I talked about these things before, but I want to break it down a little deeper, because there are different groups within that play the game. There are different groups and there are micro groups. And the micro groups is not as small as people make them. Like, I know y'all be saying, oh, the creation group, that it's a group that actually create people. Yeah, it's a large group. There's a massive group of people that like creating characters. And some of them, they get upset that, hey, I want to make a boxer, but the game is not giving me the options to create a boxer accurately the way I want to. There are people that don't even like boxing or sports games that will create characters. I know this for a fact. I know this for a fact. But my thing is, if you give us the right tools for any mode that people like, it should be right tools for all the different fan bases. All right, let me get back to what I was saying. This episode is not about arguing over fan base is right. It is about understanding that boxing fans are not one group. They multiply ecosystems living under one roof. And if a company wants long-term success, it cannot build a game for one of them. Today, we break down Creation Suite fans, Realistic Sim fans, arcade fans, competitive esports fans, online only players, offline only players, league and structured fans, presentation and immersion fans, and what company must add if they truly want each group satisfied. All right, the Creation Suite fans. I could go on for a whole episode with this because I'm one of those fans. I'm an artist. I'm 100% an artist. Hold on, let me let y'all see that I'm an artist. I don't know if y'all can see markers, paint, expensive art markers and paint. I'm an artist. Where I got my PC, my laptop at, pencils and everything on this desk. I'm an artist. All right, the Creation Suite fans. These are the architects. They want to build boxers. They want to build gyms, stables, promoters, sanctioning bodies, divisions, custom belts, tournaments, entire universes. It's so much that can be created. And I seen smaller companies. They're Steel City. And I know y'all said smaller than Steel City. Yes, Steel City is ain't it. Steel City is not as small as y'all make them out to be. It's not a 4 or 5 man development team. I seen people with 4 or 5 developers that had deeper creation systems. They had deeper creation systems. And this another thing. What do y'all think was 2K and EA, they had the whole team working on just creation modes and stuff like that? Because a lot of people are, man, it's gonna take away. No, every development team has a group for each mode. Steel City, what they did, they were having people work on every mode. That was their problem. They didn't have people focusing on centralized ideas, centralized modes. They didn't have people focusing on modes. All right, what they need, what the creations guys need. What they need is deep boxer creator, facial morphing, body type scaling, punch style templates, footwork archetypes, tendency sliders, personality sliders. See, personality sliders, we don't have that. We didn't have that. See, in this age of technology, we should be able to have more sliders to build character, make boxers unique. Say, look at his personality. This boxer actually has a personality. You could do that. I know certain technology is scary, but hey, use it for what it is. Technology is scary, but use it for what it is. Stop shortchanging us. Y'all ain't giving us nothing free. All right. Division editor. When I say division, I'm talking about weight classes. Division editor. Catch weight creation. Era-based divisions. Custom rankings. Era-based divisions mean from the different eras before they start actually adding all them extra weight classes. We should be able to customize our weight class. We should be able to create our own weight class. Like the Bridger weight and stuff like that. We should be able to create our own weight class. That makes the game have longevity to it. That creates fan bases. That create content creators. Y'all should be asking for this stuff. That's content. Custom rankings. All right. Organization and belt editor. Organization and belt creator. Custom sanctioning bodies. Title lineage tracking. Mandatory systems. These are things that we want. All right. AI tendency assignment. Real personality traits. Defensive identity sliders. Aggression profiles. If the creation suite is shallow, this fan base leaves quietly and never comes back. If the creation suite is shallow, this fan base leaves quietly and never comes back. They are long-term engagement players. But my thing is, I don't like to leave quietly, even though I'm upset. I mean, a lot of times I don't leave quietly. I like to let them know that, hey, y'all didn't do the right thing. Let me say something while I'm leaving. A lot of people, they don't say nothing because my thing is, what they going to do, read your mind? That's why I get upset with the content creators that say, they know what we want. They know what we want. Come on, man. Stop. You telling me to be quiet. When you say, bro, you ain't got to keep saying nothing. They know what we want. They knew what we want before they created ESBC. They knew what we want when that video came out. They knew what we wanted. They know what we wanted when they had the referee in the ring in the beginning. They know what we want when they had inside fighting, when they had clinching, when they worked on it. They showed it to us. They teased it to us. And then they said, we're working on it. Oh, it's giving us problems. That ain't what it was. That was not what it was. I know why they did these things. It's an EA trick. Even though EA had the referee in the ring, EA didn't really want clinching in the game. But they gave it because we put pressure on them. See how that worked? We put pressure on EA. EA didn't want to put clinching in the game. Even though it wasn't in there the way that we really wanted it to, it was in there. They didn't want to put the referee in the ring. I know y'all didn't know that. I know that. And y'all are idiot if y'all don't know why I know that. All right. The realistic sim fans. This group cares about authenticity. They want boxing logic, not just punching animations. What they need: layered damage systems, localized swelling, long-term stamina drain, accumulated damage affecting punch output. 2, they need footwork mechanics, weight transfer, momentum-based balance, ring cutting logic. 3, realistic clinch system, positioning battles, referee break timing, inside fighting. 4, defensive responsibility. Missed punches cost energy. Missed punches cost energy. And it really depends. If I'm being honest, it really depends on how hard you threw the punch. Because I could throw an arm punch and not lose energy. And a lot of y'all don't know what an arm punch is. You're not putting your body behind it. You should not have arm fatigue from an arm punch. An arm punch doesn't really have power behind it unless you have heavy hands. And that's another thing that should be implemented into a boxing game. For the base game, for the realistic version, some boxers are known to have heavy hands. Some boxers are power punchers. You have to fight them accordingly. All right. Defensive responsibility. Missed punches cost energy, bad positioning, punished. Counter windows based on balance. 5, AI identity. Different boxes feel different. Ring IQ variations. Adaptive round over rounds. Adaption over rounds. This fan base will forgive graphics flaws. They will not forgive shallow systems. This fan base will forgive graphics flaws. They will not forgive shallow systems. The arcade fans, give me a second. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. All right, nobody there. Salute to Lamont Davis. The arcade fans, this group wants fun first. They are not looking for 12-round chess matches. They want excitement. And this is another misconception. When people hear chess matches, they think of a slow fight. There are fast-paced chess matches. So y'all gotta start learning things. I'm not even a chess player, but I know about chess. I'm not a chess player because I don't have the patience for chess. I always wanted to learn it, but I don't have the patience for it. A lot of people say, you think like a chess player. I just don't have the patience for it. All right. But boxing is like high-paced chess. Not slow-paced chess. It's high-paced chess. All right. They want excitement because somebody like Tyson. Now, let me get back to it. Like somebody like Tyson, you would just think that everything is boom, 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 boom. It's still chess, just another level to it. It's just quicker. Because sometimes Tyson did set things up. A lot of people just think Tyson just went out there and just destroyed. No, he said everything was, some of his things were set ups to do them. All right. They want excitement. What they need, fast mode or arcade rule sets, reduce stamina penalty, higher punch output, flashier knockdowns. 2, big moment mechanics, comeback boost, signature punch animations. 3, accessibility controls, simplify input options, preset play styles. If you do not give them an entry-level experience, they will never stay long enough to grow into sim fans. Accessibility is not the enemy. It just cannot replace realism as the foundation. That's what I be trying to say. It should not be the default. It should be an option. And that's what's, if y'all were paying attention in the beginning, that was what Ash was pushing for. He said that there's going to be an arcade option. And you know what ended up happening? The game became arcade without it being an option. Like it just became the arcade. The realism disappeared. Somebody on the team said, no, why focus on giving options when we just give them arcade? They'll accept it. They'll accept the hybrid. No, nobody wanted that. All right. The competitive fans. These players care about balance. Hate that word. These players care about balance. They study mechanics. They test frame data. They want fairness. What they need: 1, transparency tuning. 2, exploits fixed speed. 3, skill-based systems, not random stun mechanics. Clear risk versus reward. Clear risk versus reward. 4, rank structure. Seasonal ladders. Skilled tiers. Placement matches. Anti-cheat protection. If exploits dominate, competitive players disappear immediately. All right. I know y'all like that. He ain't stay on that one real long. The online players. This group lives in matchmaking. What they need: stable servers, low input delay, desync fixes, spectator mode, replay systems, crossplay. If online feels inconsistent, they blame the mechanics. Even if the mechanics are solid, infrastructure matters. Infrastructure matters. The offline players, career mode players, universe builders, longevity players. What they need: deep career mode, amateur background, gym selection, trainer relationships, promoter politics. 2, dynamic rankings. 3, new systems. 4, rivalries. 5, injuries and recovery arcs. 6, stable management. Offline players keep the game alive when online population dips. Offline players keep the game alive when online population dips. Ignore them at your own risk. And they did ignore them. Steel City ignored them. Steel City ignored their fans, their offline fans. Because when there's problems with the online, the people should be able to go to offline. All right, let me see. Leagues and structure fans. League and structure fans. These are organized community players. They run sim leagues, real-time seasons, broadcast events. What they need: custom rule toggles. I'm huge on that. Toggles. We should have options. Toggles is options. We should have a lot of options. And I know y'all thinking in your brain, no, we don't want the fans to be overwhelmed. The fans that's going to be overwhelmed, let them have presets. Let the hardcore fans have the toggles. Weight enforcement tools. Stat export systems. People like sharing stats. People like sharing rules. People like sharing different things. And that's what the community want. All right. Match history tracking. Commissioner tools. If companies provide structured tools, leagues promote the game for free. If companies provide structured tools, leagues promote the game for free. If not, leagues build workarounds. If not, leagues build workarounds. That's exactly what's going on now. Workarounds. And I really don't want to be a part of that. All right. Presentation and immersion fans. This group wants atmosphere. They care about walkouts, commentary, crowd reactions, broadcast packages. What they need: multiple commentary styles, modern, old school, dynamic crowd logic, era-based venues, real referee behavior, authentic broadcast overlays. Presentation builds emotional memory. Without it, fights feel hollow. The core reality: you cannot build one shallow system and expect all these groups to feel heard. The solution is not choosing one fan base. The solution is layered architecture, realism as the base logic, accessibility as an option, depth as a toggle, competitive balance as protected infrastructure. Competitive balance as protected infrastructure. Creation tools as expandable systems. Companies need to stop asking, what kind of fan do we want? They should be asking, what systems allow multiple fan bases to coexist? Because a true boxing ecosystem support the architect, the purist, the casual, the competitor, the league organizer, the storyteller. Even if one of these groups feel ignored, the community fractured. Even if one of these groups feels ignored, the community fractures. And when the community fractures, companies lose leverage. This episode is not about division. It's about clarity. Deep fan base exists. Each one has legitimate needs. And if this studio wants loyalty, they must build accordingly. All right. Let me see. The historian fan. The historian fan. This group cares about legacy. They care about era authenticity, rule differences, old school pacing, ring dimensions, glove types, 15-round championship bouts. What they need: era mode, 1920 rule sets, 80s sanctioning politics, modern four-belt era, historical AI tendencies. Different pacing, clinch frequency differences by era, referee strictness differences. 3, presentation filters, broadcast styles per decade, crowd audience differences. 4, title lineage tracking. This group wants boxing respected as a sport with history, not just a fighting template. They are emotional purists. Ignore them and your gang feels disconnected from boxing soul. Let me see who came in here. All right. The sandbox experimenters. These are system testers. They want to test punch variants, compare stamina builds, run AI versus AI, study mechanics. What they need: AI versus AI mode, debug overlay options, damage heat maps, real-time stat displays, custom fight sliders. These players create content. They break down systems. If the systems are shallow, they expose it. If the systems are deep, they become your strongest marketing arm. The role players. This group lives for immersion. They don't just fight, they become a boxer. What they need: number 1, personality systems, discipline, loyalty, popularity, charisma. Number 2, press conference. Number 3, gym politics. Number 4, sponsorship dynamics. Number 5, rivalry cutscenes. They want emotional arcs, not just win-loss records. The content creators, streamers, YouTubers, podcasters, they need systems that produce unpredictable moments. What they need: replay editors, cinematic KO cameras, broadcast overlay customization, exportable stats, commentary toggle packs. If creators can build storylines from your systems, your game lives longer. If fights feel repetitive, content dries up fast. The stat nerd. And I know a lot of y'all like, the stat nerd. The stat nerds. These people want numbers, not vague descriptions. They want measurable logic. What they need: clear attribute transparency, stamina drain formulas, damage thresholds, breakpoints. 4, weight transfer impact. They want to understand why something happened. When outcomes feel random, they disengage. The casual sports fan, not player, sports fan. These are crossover fans. They play Madden, NBA 2K, MLB The Show. They expect infrastructure. What they need: franchise-style career, league tracking, stat leaderboards, real broadcast polish. They compare boxing games to other sports titles. If boxing feels behind, they leave. The real problem: most studios try to satisfy one of these groups, but boxing is not a niche sport. It has layers. If you only build for arcade fans, sim fans revolt. If you only build for sim fans without accessibility toggles, casual fans never stay. If you ignore Creation Suite fans, you lose long-term engagement. If you ignore competitive players, online dies. If you ignore offline players, longevity collapses. The structural solution. Instead of building modes first, build systems first. Core architecture should include realistic base logic, modular accessibility toggles, advanced expert options, infrastructure tools, deep creation suite, long-term career ecosystem. Everything branches from that. The hard truth: some fans say you can't satisfy everyone. That is partially true, but you can build layered systems that allow everyone to exist. That problem is not fan diversity. That problem is shallow architecture. If companies want loyalty, longevity, respect, word of mouth growth, they must think in short-term cycles. They must build ecosystems, because boxing fans are not one demographic. They are multiple disciplines sharing one ring. And if you build correctly, they can all coexist. Let me see. Let me see what you're saying in the chat. Just me and you, Lamont Davis, I see. Let me see how many people popped in and then left. 37 people. It's 3 people here watching in the shadows. All right. Let me see how many people voted on the list. Yeah, 5 people voted. All right. We got, all right. All right, give me a second. All right, I'm gonna do a couple of more fan bases. The I Want 20 Years fans. This group is emotionally invested. They have been waiting since Fight Night, PS2 era, early 2000 boxing titles. They are not casual critics. They are legacy fans. What they need, respectful reputation of boxing, systems that reward discipline, no arcade first core design, clear development communication. If they feel bait and switch, they become your loudest critics. If they feel heard, they become your strongest defenders. The anti-exploit purists. These people, these players cannot stand broken mechanics. They hate infinite stamina exploits, lean spam, jab spam without cost, no defensive punishment. What they need, energy economy, recovery windows tied to positioning, real counter damage scaling, meaningful stamina depletion. If stamina regenerates too easily, realism collapse. If stamina drains too harshly without logic, arcade fans quit. Balance must be layered, not simplified. The psychological warfare fans. This is a niche but powerful group. They want mental systems, not just psychological systems. What they need, confidence meters, momentum shifts, crowd pressure influence, rivalry modifiers. They want fights to feel like narratives because boxing is psychological chess. The retention matrix. Here is something most studios ignore. Different fan bases affect retention differently. Creation suite fans equal long-term retention. Competitive fans equals daily retention. Offline career fans equal medium-term retention. Arcade fans, entry funnel. Content creators, marketing, retention. If you build only for short-term engagement, you get launch spikes, population drop, community fracture. If you build layered systems, you get sustained ecosystem. What company should add immediate? This is a priority list. Tier 1. I hate that word too. The tiers. I don't like tiers because tiers is arcade and tiers apply to esports. That's what tiers for. Tier 1, foundation, non-negotiable. Real stamina logic, defensive punishment, identity-based AI, clinch death, weight transfer impact. Without this, some fans leave. Tier 2, ecosystem builders, deep career, creation suite, league tools, replay editor. Without this, longevity dies. Tier 3, accessibility layers, arcade preset, assisted defense, input simplification. Without this, growth stalls. Tier 4, infrastructure, server stability, anti-cheat, transparent patch notes, community roadmaps. These two things right here, they disappeared. Transparency, patch notes, and community roadmaps, they disappeared. And I'll be shocked if we don't get those in Undisputed 2. All right. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Without this, trust erodes. The big misunderstanding. Studios often believe if we satisfy casual fans, we maximize profits. But casual fans do not sustain sports ecosystems. Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that, Steel City and every game developer that's listening? The casual fans do not sustain a game. They help with the quick sells. And they're not the only people that buy the game immediately. They're part of the, when Steel City sold 1 million copies, it wasn't the casual fans that made it sell 1 million copies. They were a part of the fan base that helped sell the 1 million copies. Stop trying to belittle the hardcore fans and the fans of boxing. Stop. Because it's not going to make you get any more money. All right. If we satisfy casual fans, we maximize profits. But casual fans do not sustain sports ecosystem. Sports ecosystems. Hardcore fans do. Casual fans enter, hardcore fans stay. Casual fans enter, hardcore fans stay. If you build the foundation for hardcore fans first, casual players can grow into depth. If you build the foundation for hardcore fans first, casual players can grow into depth. If you build shallow foundations for casual players only, hardcore fans never return. Hardcore fans never return. Here goes some Q&As. Are you saying arcade fans don't matter? No, they matter. But arcade should be an optional layer, not the foundation. Another question. Isn't this overambitious? Layer architecture is not overambitious. It is structured development. Steel City. Ash Habib. When your team said that what you were saying was overambitious, you should have restructured them. Because when they said it was overambition, they weren't thinking. Layer architecture is not overambitious. It is structured development. It is structured development. Mean that they had to put the systems in, and they got to put them in separations. Like, we give them the mechanics now. Then you start adding on to that. It's like y'all had the idea. I saw y'all. It's like y'all had the idea, and then somebody on the team or somebody's on the team, they just made y'all go left real quick. Can one game truly satisfy all groups? Not perfectly, but it can avoid alienation. What does community fracture? Why does community fracture happens? Because each fan base feels the game is built against their needs. If companies truly want respect, they got to do the right thing. I'm gonna do some Q&As depending on when I check the chat, because I'm not looking at the chat. I'm on a different page. Let me see. I checked the chat and other people came in. It'll make me stay longer. but I'm gonna do some Q&As. All right, let me see what y'all saying in the chat. It's just me and you today, Lamont Davis. I see that people came in and I guess they shadow watch. Let me see. Yeah, it's 3 people shadow watching. And a lot of time it be developers. Let me see. Excuse me. Question 1. Why are fans so divided in the first place? Because they are playing different games inside the same title. The Sim fans want positional realism. The arcade fans want action. The competitive fans want balance. The creation suite fans want control. When one group determines development focus, the others feel ignored. The vision is not random, it is structural. The vision is not random, it is structural. Question 2, are realistic fans just important? Are realistic fans just impossible to satisfy? No. They are actually the most content group. They want logical stamina, punish mistakes, identity-based AI, real boxing pacing. If those foundations exist, they stay for years. If those foundations are shallow, they leave quickly and loudly. Question 3. Isn't arcade necessary to sell copies? Yes. Arcade is an entry point, but it should be an optional layer. If arcade mechanics define the core logic, the realism ceiling collapses. Casual players can grow into depth. Hardcore players will not shrink into shallow systems. Question 4. Why do Creation Suite fans care so much about sliders? Because sliders represent control. They want to create defensive masterminds, pressure fighters, counterpunchers, error-accurate legends. Without deep sliders, every boxer feels the same. When every boxer feels the same, immersion dies. Question 5. Why do competitive players complain so much? Why do competitive players complain so much? Because competitive integrity depends on precision. If stamina is inconsistent, hit detection is unrealistic, exploits exist, then ranked players become meaningless. Competitive players do not hate the game, they hate the instability. Question 6. Why do offline players feel ignored? Because modern sports games often prioritize online monetization. Offline players want career arcs, long-term storylines, ranking that evolve, political dynamics. They want a living ecosystem, not just matchmaking. Question 7. Can one game truly satisfy all these groups? Not perfectly, but it can avoid alienation in them. And I could have sworn I read this. All right. The key is layered architecture, realistic foundation, accessibility options, advanced toggles, infrastructure stability. The mistake is building one-dimensional systems. Question 8. Why do some fans defend broken mechanics? Because identity gets attached to investment. If someone has spent money, spent time defending the game publicly, admitting flaws feel like admitting personal misjudgment. That creates emotional defense, not mechanical analysis. Question 9. Is asking for death unrealistic or overambitious? Death is not overambition. Scope without structure is overambition. Layered systems with clear architecture or disciplined design. The problem is not dreaming big. The problem is building shallow. The problem is building shallow. Question 10. Why does the community feel fractured? Because each group believes the other group is threatening their experience. Arcade fans fear realism will slow the game down. Sim fans fear arcade mechanics will undermine authenticity. Competitive fans fear randomness. Offline fans fear neglect. When communication is unclear, speculation fills the gap. Question 11. What is the biggest mistake studios make? They build modes before systems. They build modes before systems. They focus on cosmetics, tutorials, marketing pushes, instead of core stamina logic, defensive reward systems, AI identity. If the foundation is weak, no mode can fix it. If the foundation is weak, no mode can fix it. Question 12. What should studios prioritize first? 1. Realistic base mechanics. 2. Defensive responsibility. 3. Identity-based AI. 4. Infrastructure stability. 5. Deep creation tools. Everything else builds from that. Everything else builds from that. Question 13. Why do hardcore fans matter so much? Because hardcore fans create content, leagues, discussions, strategy breakdowns, long-term engagement. Casual fans enter, hardcore fans sustain. Question 14. Is this episode attacking certain fans? No. It is identifying needs. Every group is valid, but validation does not mean ignoring structural flaws. What happens if studios ignore one major fan base? Community fragmentation. And once a community fractures, developers lose unified feedback. It becomes noise. And noise is easy to dismiss. Before I read this last part, let me see what's going on in the chat. Just me and you today, Lamont Davis, and the people that's watching in the shadows. All right. Different fan bases are not the problem. Shallow design is the problem. When a boxing game builds layered systems, the architect thrives, the purists thrive, the competitor thrive, the casuals grow, the league organizers build structure. When it doesn't, everyone argues, and the game never reaches its full potential. And this what I'm gonna tell this story. I tell it all the time. The casual fans from the EA Fight Night days, a lot of them became hardcore fans. I used to help push them. Go watch fights. See that this boxer fight similar to what EA did. And then you know what? They became critics. Watch that boxing match. Watch this. Watch that. And they come back. Hey, Poe, you saw this fight? Hey, Poe, did you see this? Check out what fight I watched. I said, oh, I didn't even see that fight. They becoming historians like. They start watching fights. They start nitpicking little things. And it's nothing wrong with nitpicking. That shows you're a fan. That shows you are a fan. When nobody says nothing, that's when it should be a problem. You can say something to be positive or you can say something to be negative. You're saying something. All right, let me see. All right, I think I'm about to end the show. Give my shout outs, and then I'm in the show. Let me see. All right, nobody popped in. All right. Salute to everybody that came through. You know, I appreciate y'all. The people that's in the shadows, appreciate y'all. Shout out to Don D 205. On Twitter is Don D 205. On Instagram is Don D 205 TV. And on Twix is Don D 205. Please support him. His show on Twix, he do a show on Twix and Kick. So, but his show is at 12:22 a.m. If you can catch it, just pop in and pop out. You know, shout out to Don D. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Lamont Davis. Appreciate you too. Let me see. Shout out to Leafy Boxing, pound for pound boxing. Shout out to AJ Pax. Shout out to JMMA. Shout out to the Beast. Shout out to the Wishlist Mafia. Shout out to Papanosis. You know, shout out to everybody, like the developers that watch this podcast, watch this YouTube show. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all. Well, I want to give Blaster X. Shout out to Blaster X1. Shout out to E Championship Boxing, Esports Boxing. Shout out to Ichiro. Aram. Shout out to Aram. I'm leaving somebody out. I'm Precisely. Shout out to I'm Precisely. Shout out to Envious. Shout out to all of y'all, man. You know, I apologize that I missed your name, but I appreciate y'all anyway. Until the next show, which is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, you know, till the next show, peace.